the fulfillment of outstanding salary and welfare demands. According to NARD, in a statement today, the industrial action beginning at 8 a.m. on Friday, September 12, 2025, will continue until Tuesday, September 16, 2025. The planned strike follows deliberations during NARD's online National Executive Council meeting, which convened on Wednesday and extended into the early hours of today. The General Secretary of NARD's Federal Capital Territory Chapter, Agbo Afyong, said the NEC members unanimously resolved to embark on a 5-day warning strike, directing all centers to inform their hospital managements accordingly. The strike coincides with ongoing industrial action by resident doctors in Abuja and Oyo states, which comes after NARD issued a 10-day ultimatum to relevant government agencies over unmet demands.
President Bola Tinubu has directed a Federal Executive Council FEC committee to urgently implement measures aimed at further reducing food prices across the country. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Oluyole, made this known in Abuja while addressing journalists at a capacity building workshop for Senate correspondents. Senator Abdullahi explained that the presidential directive is focused on ensuring the safe and unhindered passage of farm produce across the nation's transport routes, a step, he said, would significantly cut logistics costs. Government officials say the latest directive is part of a broader effort by the Tinubu administration to stabilize food supply, ease the burden on households, and restore confidence in the agricultural value chain.
The House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations has engaged the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, over the pace of implementation of the 2024 to 2025 Appropriations Act. Briefing newsmen after the closed-door session in Abuja, Chairman of the committee, Abubakar Bichi, said Nigerians were increasingly worried about the level of budget execution. He explained that the engagement was part of the National Assembly's constitutional mandate to monitor budget performance and ensure effective service delivery. On his part, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, disclosed that as of September 2025, about 80% of the 2024 budget had been implemented. Also speaking, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, said the committee recognized and commended the achievements recorded under President Bola Tinubu's administration.
The federal government has declared that there is no going back on the full implementation of the new Tax Reforms Act, which is slated to commence operations from January 1st, 2026. This is as the International Air Transport Association, IATA, has chastised the federal government for contravening the numerous international treaties it signed with other countries and organizations, including the December 2024 Treaty of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which prohibits member nations from paying taxes on air passengers and goods. Participants today at a business webinar jointly organized by Aviation and Allied Business in collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service with the team Nigeria Tax Act 2025 and the Aviation Industry Aviation Sector Enlightenment Initiative, described the new tax reforms as multiple taxation on the aviation sector, especially airline operators. The Assistant Director, Nigerian Revenue Service, formerly FIRS, Mrs. Nkechi Omegakwe, in her presentation, said that the government had done all the due diligence before coming up with the new tax laws. Omegakwe, who was the lead presenter at the event, insisted that it was mandatory for airline operators, including other allied businesses in the aviation sector, to now pay the value-added tax, VAT, in all their services and operations.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has tracked a total of 1,440 projects valued at 271.054 billion naira, within the last 2 years. The ICPC chairman, Mr. Musa Aliyu, stated this at a one-day engagement with selected media practitioners in the Northwest and Northeast held at the Bristol Hotel in Kano today. He said of this project, 767 projects valued at 112.737 billion naira were in the Northeast, while 673 projects valued at 158.317 billion naira were in the Northwest. On cash recoveries, the ICPC chairman said a total of 7.269 billion naira and $1.066 million were recovered in the Northwest, while 43.335 million naira was recovered in the Northeast. He therefore called on the National Assembly to expedite the passage of the whistleblower bill, which will empower citizens to report corruption without fear.
The Benue State House of Assembly has announced a change in its leadership, dissolving the former principal officers and appointing new ones to major positions. According to a statement issued today by Sape Umpa, press secretary to the Speaker, Thomas Dugari, is now the majority leader, while Abraham Jabi takes over as deputy majority leader. Cyril Ikang has been named the majority chief whip, and Simon Gabo becomes the deputy majority whip. On the minority side, Abu Umoro assumes the role of minority leader, with Sapes Dako as deputy minority leader. Samuel Gigi has been appointed minority whip, and Moses Ebodo will serve as deputy minority whip. The statement added that more details on the reorganization will be made public in due course.
The Oyo State, this broadcast of Newscope is coming to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. The Oyo State government is set to launch its implementation strategy as a subnational for the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, which would boost economic viability of the state amongst the Committee of Nations. A special advisor to Governor Seyi Makinde on international trade and AfCFTA, Ms. Neo Theodore Fiasolo, disclosed this during a press briefing held at the briefing room of the Governor's Office, Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. Details are presented by the Governor's Office correspondent, Oluyole Sulaiman.
Addressing journalists at a press briefing, the special advisor to Governor Makinde on international trade and AfCFTA, Ms. Neo Theodore Taselu, announced that the forthcoming event, scheduled to hold at a popular event center in Ibadan, will convene key stakeholders, noting that the initiative represents a significant milestone in the Oyo State Economic Development Strategy. Ms. Theodore Taselu highlighted that the launch is expected to enhance trade and stimulate economic growth in the state in line with AfCFTA's borders vision of positioning Africa as global economic hub.
I would like to say to the traders, the manufacturers and the farmers that this is our moment to tap into the $3.5 trillion of a GDP that has been projected of what it will bring to Africa as a whole. The sky is not the limit. I want to believe that as the government has officially pronouncing its strategy, it is now up to us as traders to now really take the bull by the horn. According to her,
by leveraging the opportunities provided by AfCFTA, Oyo State intends to attract more investment, expand trade, and foster a business-friendly environment.
This is a big thing, not just for Oyo State, but for Africa. And African Union is celebrating with us because this is their milestone. It's their milestone for their the Africa we want.
Also present at the briefing were members of the event committee and the chief press secretary to the governor, Dr. Sulaiman Olanriwaju, among others. Oluyole Sulaiman, BCS News.
Your state government has banned the sign-out celebrations for graduating students, as well as the use of mobile phones in both public and private schools across the state. The Your State Commissioner of Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Oluyole, announced this while speaking at the Preschool Resumption Forum of the All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools and Corps, Your State Chapter. BCS reporter Oluyole covered the event held at Lagelu Grammar School, Ibadan. Presents the details.
September ushers in a fresh academic calendar for both new and returning students. Across the country, schools are set to resume with packed timetables of academic and extracurriculum activities, while students anticipate fresh opportunities to excel and create lasting memories. For parents, resumption is not without stress, from paying tuition to buying uniforms, textbooks, stationaries, shoes, lunch boxes, and other supplies. The financial commitment is overwhelming, particularly for households with more than one child in school. Beyond academics, parents need to also focus on ensuring their children's physical, mental, and social readiness for the new term. But this year, the Preschool Resumption Forum of the Your State Chapter of the All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools brought together principals and education stakeholders to deliberate on pressing issues affecting the academic environment in the state. Speaking at the gathering, the Your State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Mr. Oluyole, acknowledged the principals' commitment to shaping the minds of youth and upholding the standard of education in the state. He charged them to reaffirm their collective commitment to excellence, uphold discipline, and protect government property in their various schools.
There are two instructions that were issued out to them today. The number one of them is that banning of the mobile phone in school is prohibited for students. None of the students should have telephone with them while in school. They can use it outside of the school, but when in school, any student that is arrested, the telephone will be seized and never to be released again. Then the second one is this signing out thing that is ongoing. As soon as a student finishes exam, what they do is they arrange the signing out, they will do uniform, and we have seen that course in schools are making use of this opportunity to perpetrate effort in schools, and as a result of that, we are saying from today, no more signing out for students in public and private primary schools and secondary schools in Nigeria, even tertiary institutions.
Earlier in the separate remarks, the Permanent Secretary of your State Ministry of Education, Mrs. Bamidele Oluyole, and Chairman TESCOM, Mrs. Olubukola Oladipupo, emphasized that the forum should not be seen as a mere routine, but as an avenue to gain more insight into various aspects of school administration. They also cautioned against illegal collection of levies from parents and students.
Don't just keep quiet, hear your views, so that collectively we can know how to tackle issues and challenges. So on this note, I want to assure you that with our interaction with the Commissioner, he's a father to all, ready to listen and give us his advice. We not here, so we don't collect any legal fees from students. I'm discouraging you from collecting me. I said once again, we have started well. By the grace of God, we are going to end well.
In their goodwill messages, the State NUT Chairman, represented by the Union's Assistant Secretary, Comrade Amuda Adegoke, and the State President of ANCOPS, Comrade Akeoye Akishola, appreciated the state government for prioritizing the welfare of teachers.
It is of essence to appreciate His Excellency Engineer Oluyole Makinde, DSC, FNSC, GSSR, for prioritizing the welfare of teachers, particularly the general workers of your state. I think you will appreciate it, Mr. Governor.
The governor has been doing well. Think about payment of salary as at Wednesday, employment of teachers in thousands. Aside this, he has appointed people that are capable of holding their offices.
The event also featured an advocacy session where principals were enlightened on the importance of national identification number, followed by an interactive question and answer session. The forum was attended by zonal directors and local inspectors of education. Oluyole, Business News.
As schools across Nigeria prepare to reopen for a new academic session, parents and traders of school essentials are raising concerns over the rising cost of bags, books, shoes, and other school supplies. They are appealing to government at all levels to prioritize the welfare of citizens in decision-making to ease the burden on struggling families. BCOS reporter Damilola Daudu takes a look at how soaring prices are shaping this year's back-to-school preparations.
September ushers in a fresh academic calendar for both new and returning students. Across the country, schools are set to resume with packed timetables of academic and extracurriculum activities, while students anticipate fresh opportunities to excel and create lasting memories. For parents, resumption is not without stress, from paying tuition to buying uniforms, textbooks, stationaries, shoes, lunch boxes, and other supplies. The financial commitment is overwhelming, particularly for households with more than one child in school. Beyond academics, parents need to also focus on ensuring their children's physical, mental, and social readiness for the new term. But this year, many families say the prevailing economic hardship, rising inflation on some major essentials their children need are overwhelming. In a chat with BCOS, some parents lamented the skyrocketing costs and appealed to the government to stabilize the economy and provide relief for struggling households.
Like I said, there is no money, but we try our best because it's necessary for our students to go back to school. And this term is first time. They will go to another class. So we're supposed to prepare for everything.
Parents should try and prepare because we don't have choice than to prepare for the resumption. And it's good to prepare and prepare very well. Because if the beginning is not straight, definitely the failure is ahead of the students.
Ti high ju nǹkan yẹn tí wọ́n jù kò sí owó bàtà yìí kọjá bàtà 3,000 naira ó náà sọ pé 553 à ń bẹ̀ wọ́n sí 5,000 wọn àti ìgbà báyìí kò sí owó ẹni tó lọ́mọ mẹ́rin mẹ́ta báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ ṣe kò sí owó kíjọba ó jọ kó ṣàánú wa. Aṣọ tá a bá lásìkò yìí kò wọ́n pọ̀ owó ló wọ́n ń ta aṣọ ò wọ́n púpọ̀ but owó ló wọ́n níta àbí Ọlọ́run kọ́lọ́n kó ran gbogbo àwọn òbí lọ́wọ́ ó sì jẹ́ ká jèrè àwọn ọmọ wa.
Stationery and school supply traders are also counting their losses. They noted that higher cost of goods, reduced patronage, and the difficulty of restocking have affected their businesses. Some admitted they struggle to meet basic expenses despite the increased demand that usually comes with the resumption period.
The turn-up is not very good enough, due to the, I can say due to the economics of this country. But people are still coming out.
Àwọn òbí wọn jáde wọ́n rà bọ̀ ọjà yẹn wọ́n ó pa wọ́n gan lára bó ṣe ń pa wọ́n lára ló ń pa wọ́n náà lára gbogbo bí ọdún bíi mélòó kan síwájú yẹ ọjà yóò tó báyìí bọ̀ níyẹn ọjà yẹn gan ó pọ̀. They
are turning up, but there is no market like others because market is too cost now. The price now is too high. The one we are selling like 4,000 before, 8,000 now. The one like 6,000 before, 10,000, 11,000. That's how the market be like.
Both parents and traders agree that urgent government reforms are needed to reduce hardship and strengthen the education sector in a bid to ensure that no child is denied access to learning because of economic challenges. Damilola Daudu, BCOS News.
The National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB, has released the 2025 June-July National Business Certificate and National Technical Certificate results with improved performance recorded in mathematics. Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Mohammed Mohammed, who announced the results in Abuja today, said over 92,000 candidates registered for the examinations across over 1,000 centers nationwide. He noted that the figure represented a 37.08% increase in enrollment compared to 2024, while the centers rose to 10.77%. According to him, candidates sat for 16 engineering trades, 7 construction trades, 9 miscellaneous trades and 4 business trades and 16 general education subjects. The registrar said registration had commenced for the 2025 November-December NBC, NTC and Advanced National Business Certificates and Advanced National Technical Certificates examinations.
The Lagos State government has stated that due process was followed in the demolition of shanties and other unapproved structures in the Oluyole area of the state as property owners disregarded notices and amnesty opportunities to regularize their buildings. The Permanent Secretary, Office of Urban and Regional Planning, Mr. Oluyole Oki, said this during a press briefing, adding that only 2 or 3 landlords took advantage of the amnesty and their buildings were not demolished. Mr. Oki, who provided evidence of the notices served and meetings with stakeholders, said that the residents were given enough time to obtain planning permits during the state government's amnesty program for unapproved buildings. He added that the amnesty began with a 90-day window from May 2024 to July 2024, which was extended to October 2024 and finally to December 2024. It will be recalled that the Lagos State government granted a 3-phase amnesty between May 2024 and December 2024 for owners of unapproved buildings to regularize their documents. Mr. Oki said that the demolition was necessary to safeguard lives, improve drainage, and enhance security in the area.
And on the foreign scene, Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk has pledged to push ahead with a great modernization program for his country's military a day after Polish and NATO forces shot down drones violating the country's airspace during a Russian area attack on neighboring Ukraine. The Polish Air Navigation Services Agency announced today that Poland had introduced air traffic restrictions along its eastern borders with Belarus and Ukraine. It said the step was taken at the request of the Polish army for national security reasons, but did not elaborate.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, is set to commence a 5-day nationwide warning strike to press for the fulfillment of outstanding salary and welfare demands.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has tracked a total of 1,440 projects valued at 271.054 billion naira within the last 2 years.
The Oyo State government is set to launch its implementation strategy as a sub-national for the African Continental Free Trade Area, which would boost economic viability of the state amongst the Committee of Nations.
And on the foreign scene, Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk has pledged to push ahead with a great modernization program for his country's military a day after Polish and NATO forces shot down drones violating the country's airspace during a Russian area attack on neighboring Ukraine.
That's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Eniola Adiaga and delivered by
Afolakemi Akobi. Good evening.
And Josephine Oluwabumi. Thanks for listening. Do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening. Good night.
The city of Ibadan, the home of ancient warlords, in the Pace Setter state, This is Oluyole FM 98.5 Ibadan.
ètò ìlera nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń gbèrú sí i pẹ̀lú akitiyan ètò ìjọba ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà Olúṣèyí Abíọ́dún Mákindé láti pàṣẹ iléeṣẹ́ elétò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ yìí ní kó àwọn èwe fi ń dọ̀rọ̀ tàn síbẹ̀ ìgbìyànjú iléeṣẹ́ elétò ìlera ń tẹ̀síwájú la fi rán àwọn ìyálọ́mọ létí wípé bọ́mọ bá ti pé oṣù mẹ́fà lẹ́yìn oúnjẹ omi ọyàn pọ̀nbélé àwọn oúnjẹ aṣaralóore alápòpọ̀ mashed foods la máa fún wọn jẹ pẹ̀lú àfikún omi ọyàn àwọn oúnjẹ bíi ẹyin ẹja èso ewébẹ̀ ẹ̀wà ẹ̀pà sóyà ìrẹsì àgbàdo iṣu àtàwọn míì àwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí ló kún fún okun agbára ìjípépé ìdàgbàsókè àlàáfíà àti ìlera tó péye bákan náà ní ká gbájúmọ́ ìmọ́tótó ara àti àyíká bá a ṣe ń fọmọ oṣù mẹ́fà láwọn oúnjẹ yìí látùmá fún mi ọyànlá kí wọ́n lè jẹ́ àgbélé àti àwòye bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ètò ọrọ̀ ajé lágbára lásìkò yìí ẹ jẹ́ ká pèsè ọjọ́ iwájú rere fáwọn ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa ìṣòmó jìnnà fún ajẹ́ o ìkéde ló wá látọ̀dọ̀ ikọ̀ àárín àti ilé ẹsẹ̀ elétò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
ọba ló ládìí orí ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ ní tàwọn ìjòyè Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM.